19 years after 9/11 and the 19 hijackers, 19 years after the war on drugs, which is really a war on freedom that targeted poor, dark-complected people, especially in this city. That was 19 years after JFK got his head blown off and taught everybody to shut up and just walk down the street and not give a shit about truth because they might be next. And 19 years before that was the year we sent the most troops off to fight in Europe for another war that wasn't about nothing but bringing about the next part of the Jesuit agenda, which was Israel. So they could create this divisive thing in there and always have a million reasons to go intervene for another war. When we sit here and put slogans on our car, peace in the Middle East. I'll tell you what, you want peace in this world, you better listen to what Martin Luther King Jr. said a year to the day of his death. Nobody knows about MLK's speech the year of the day of his death because he was blacklisted for it. Nobody heard about MLK for the last year of his life. But April 4th, 1967, he gave a speech called Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence. And he said, this whole nation is ruled by an evil military empire, and it sends our youth off to kill innocents, and then they come back because they know they did wrong with darkness in their heart, and they take up heroin, and they beat their wives and their family members, and they go out and commit crimes, and it tears our society apart. Come on, man. Go up to my city right now, Seattle, see how many homeless vets are out on the street, addicted to Percocet, 30s, and fentanyl. Why can't they talk about that? How come Jimmy Kimmel can't talk about that? I remember when Jimmy Kimmel was funny, it was back in the 90s. Jimmy Kimmel used to be a funny guy. Now he's a propagandist. Reminds me of everything. Growing up in the 90s, this country's gone nothing but downhill. It's probably going downhill before then, but man, it's gone so far down. I could have never imagined we'd be debating if men should be able to identify as women and compete against women in college. I mean, what? If you guys heard me about 201 and the Jesuits, I'll give you another one. Caitlyn Jenner, 201, like the Jesuit order, like Order of Illuminati, founded by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt, who died 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment. Like Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201
What's up,
of the
everyone?
Vatican.
What's up?
His birth name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201, like the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, 201. By the way, Ignatius of Loyola became the first leader of the Jesuits April 19th, a day of tragedy. The Revolutionary War began April 19th, Waco, Oklahoma City. What just happened in Canada? All the mass shootings on that day, they got done by everything.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What up, cops? So, Cynthia, what up, Cynthia? Las Vegas Freedom News, D Street Media, Blazer 100, 420, Annette Mitchell, 420. We said what's up to 420. All right, let freedom ring.
Then he goes to the White House and says, I'm going to take away the Second Amendment. Fuck you, Lincoln lawyer. You guys gotta stop worshiping these celebrities, man. They're so sold out. All they care about is their status, their fame. They don't care about us. Didn't Michael sing that song? They don't care about us. Anyone ever knows the joke with Michael Jackson? The moonwalker turned 11 years old the year of Apollo 11. By the way, the moon landing, the illuminated object in the sky. Let me make sense of this for you. Before I come back to the moon and the moonwalker,
That's a dope shirt.
16th century. That's the century the Jesuits were created to counter Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation, which was trying to stop Catholic
No, you got
tyranny
some
in
fans
Europe.
out here. You got the fans out
If you
here.
don't know, Catholic Church used to put a lot of taxes and fees and fines on people. Might remind you of our current government.
Got some Truthseekers out
In
here.
the 16th century, all these things happened. The calendar was named after the Pope. English was standardized with a 26-letter alphabet, and the heliocentric model was established that said the sun is the center of everything. Of course, the Catholic Church is a sun-worshiping cult. Now, funny enough, heliocentrism in gematria equals 201. The moon is illuminated by the sun. The Jesuit Adam Weishaupt founded the Illuminati May 1st, 1776. He called it the Order of Illuminati. Order of Illuminati equals 201 like the Jesuit order. So what day was the moon landing? It was on the 201st day of the year. Neil Alden Armstrong. Who wants to guess what his name equals? Neil Alden Armstrong. What's it equal? course it equals 201. Of course it equals 201. If you guys think I'm tripping, learn gematria, add it up yourself. You'll see it's all facts. You'll see that Beau Biden died at age 46, 201 days for the Pope's birthday. And the Jesuit priest at Georgetown, Leo Jeremiah O'Donovan, whose name equals 201, did the funeral for Beau Biden and the inauguration for Joe Biden on 20/1, which is the 201st day of this nation's age when you measure from July 4th. That's why Inauguration Day was moved to January 20th, because the Jesuits have been in D.C. longer than the federal government. They venerate this number. The Jesuits created modern Freemasonry. Modern Freemasonry etches on its temples all this number. Freemasonry is based in the Torah. What's the fourth book of the Torah called? Numbers. Come on, man. Somebody help me out, man. Somebody else has to be more persuasive than me, because almost nobody cares. How come almost nobody in America cares about our declining state, our nation, our cities, our loss of rights and liberties? How come we can't get people all across the nation to gather like we do to watch a football game in the National Fixed League? Man, we should be out every weekend saying, you know what? Down with the tyranny, down with the overtaxation, down with sending all of our money to other countries. There's so many people who need help here. Why don't we do it? I remember.
It's the fluoride.
I went to Arizona State University. I used to have a professor. It was right after 9/11. I was a freshman when 9/11 happened. I had a professor. His name was Beers. Professor Beers. You can't forget his name. But I got kicked out of his class because he told us one day, he said, you guys are lucky to live in America. In America, we don't have propaganda. Not like Russia. Not like China. You guys, that's all bullshit. The Jesuits were saved in Russia. They've been in China for longer than the U.S. has existed. Let me tell you about Russia, Ukraine. Joe Biden, 201 days after his birthday. 201. Oh, by the way, Joe Biden's from Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of the hit show The Office. You guys know how many episodes The Office ran? Ran 201 episodes. And why'd they do that? Because at the beginning of every episode, the Jesuit prep school flag is shown at the start of every episode. Most of them don't even recognize it. Very famous Jesuit prep school in Scranton. By the way, University of Moscow, Idaho killings on King Road on the king's birthday. They traced the killer back to Scranton, and then they said the killer lived in apartment 201. That also just happened with Bob Lee in San Francisco. They had to put out the detail that his killer lived in apartment 201. Started to pay. Oh yeah. What's his name for Argentina? What's his name?
Lionel Messi.
Like Messiah. They had to report that he was staying separate from the team in room 201. You know how much money we made on the World Cup? We knew Argentina, where the Pope was from, would beat France, like Pope Francis, when the Jesuits were from France, since the championship was one day after his birthday. World Cup, NFL, Super Bowl, NBA Finals, LeBron on King James's birthday with the Cavaliers. All this shit is so rigged, and the only reason people don't see it is because they don't know when King James' birthday is. They don't know when the Pope's birthday is. They actually, you see what it is. I don't like Fox News, this is an endorsement, but they like to go out on the street and show interviews of people, like questions like, hey, American person, what year was Lincoln assassinated? And the people are like, 2000? You know, it's like, I'm like, that's America, you guys. How many people know that Lincoln blamed the Civil War on the Jesuit order? If you didn't know that, he did. Why don't we learn that in our 13 years of slave school? That Lincoln blamed the Civil War on the Jesuits. How many people know? Everybody knows John Wilkes Booth, but who knows about Mr. Surratt? Mr. Surratt escaped. He was a Jesuit. You gotta read a little bit more than what they taught us in the slave school textbook. Again, you guys, people have been knowing about the Jesuits. It's just all we get to hear from are the authorities, the Jimmy Kimmels, and what they think. And now we live in a day and age where a person like me just wants to share information. I can't share this information online. It's taken down for medical misinformation. I'm not even talking about medicine. I can't quote what Bill Gates said in his 2010 TED Talk. Here, anyone who's listening, when you go home tonight, if you have 30 minutes, look up Bill Gates' 2010 TED Talk, Innovating to Zero. It's about why we need to reduce population to save the earth from climate change. I can't say something out loud because it'll take down everybody who's streaming. It does every time.
Yep.
But listen to what Bill Gates said. He said, we can do a good job reducing the population if we do one thing. And I can't say what that thing is, even though it's true that he said it, but I'll give you a clue. Again, his foundation is right across the street from the world's biggest needle. That's the clue. Now, the next thing he said was we need gas to be $5 to $10 a gallon so people pretty much can't afford to drive. And then he laughs about it because he's in a room with other millionaires and billionaires. He said that'd be nothing to us, but the average American, they won't have any money left over, so that'll cut down big time on the driving and emissions. And then Bill Gates said, we need to go into Russia and we need to get the spent nuclear energy fuel. Right now, Bill Gates, if you guys don't know this, look it up. In Wyoming, he's building an experimental nuclear reactor. He's got this new bright idea to build a massive hole in the ground and dump in spent nuclear energy fuel and then essentially set it off with a quick explosion. He says that they'll burn for 50 years and power the entire West Coast. But this sounds kind of dangerous. He just happens to be putting it next to the national park in Wyoming, of all the places. If you've never been to Wyoming, it's one of the most beautiful states in the whole country. Why there? By the way, his full name, William Henry Gates, 201. His ex, Melinda, from a family of Jesuit priests, born on August 15th, the same day as the Jesuit order. It's not actually, you guys, it's an arranged marriage. You remember when Bill Gates became famous? I'll tell you what year it happened. It happened in 94. You know who died in 94 in Seattle, Bill Gates' city? Who was the most famous man at the start of 94 in Seattle? Who remembers?
Kurt Cobain.
He knows it. Kurt Cobain. I'm from Seattle. You know what the Seattle area code is? 206. In Hebrew gematria, sacrifice equals 206. Kurt Cobain died 206 days from Bill Gates' birthday. They had to wipe out Kurt Cobain to make room for the new brain, Bill Gates, who comes from a father who was into eugenics and a mother who worked for IBM. If you guys have never seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, the reason the AI that overtakes man is called HAL is because H is the letter before I, A is the letter before B, and L is the letter before M. It's a tribute to IBM. HAL, IBM, computers. And look what's going on right now, you guys. Big tech, big medicine, taking over, merging together, controlling speech, controlling policy. A lot of people don't know this, but the day that Russia-Ukraine broke out, all of our news focused on that. Bill Gates and co were at the World Health Organization putting together a plan for the next pandemic, how to make sure everybody can be jabbed in record time. And if you guys still haven't woken up to what's going on, look at all the young people who've been out on sports fields who've just dropped and hit the dust. I got a first story, so I'm gonna get in trouble, but you know what I mean. They just expired, young people. I don't remember too many women having heart attacks before. Just in my own circle, I've known a number of women who've had heart attacks recently. I don't remember any of this any time before. The safe and effective, if you know what I mean. It's so safe and effective. You need it, it's mandatory, because your immune system can't take on the 99% survivable illness. You guys, there's a quote about how when fascism comes to this country, it'll be a flag wrapped in a cross. Does anyone know who coined the term fascism? Who first used the word fascism? Anybody? It's okay. It was Mussolini. Mussolini's also who made the Vatican an independent city-state. And Mussolini said, fascism is the merger of the state with corporation. What happened in the time of COVID? Normal people were made to close their businesses. A lot of people lost their livelihood. Some people lost their lives over it for all kinds of reasons. But who was allowed to stay open? Jeff Bezos at Amazon up in the city where the first case was confirmed in Bill Gates' backyard. Walmart, Costco, also out of Seattle. You guys ever looked at how many companies were in Seattle that made a whole lot more profit and grew their market share a ton? If you guys haven't figured out what's going on the West Coast, why there's so much more homelessness, it connects to big tech too. Big tech's bringing in a lot of people from overseas.
What's up, Sci-Fi Bride? What up?
To build the algorithms and the technology, to build the censorship and the surveillance state, but they're paying them $300,000.
Forgot to read
and what happens in cities like Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, the landlords, they realize they can raise the rents. And the next thing you know, people get priced out of their homes. They can't afford to live in their community.
Go ahead,
next
school
thing
them.
you know,
School them,
they're
cops.
depressed.
What's up, time
Somebody
to wake
gives
up?
them a pill. They're an addict overnight. Opiates everywhere. We got all these people that were functional people just a decade ago, living in the city. Some of them are gone now, OD. A lot of them are homeless addicts. And you know who's making a lot of money off it?
Welcome to the channel, Daria.
Big Pharma.
Sonia, what's up, Sonia?
Big Pharma. Who got sick of watching Anderson Cooper on the nightly news tell you weren't a real man if you hadn't gotten the jab, and then it would literally go to commercial break sponsored by Pfizer, sponsored by Moderna. Have you guys ever seen the movie Network? Network in the 70s. Really important movie. Hollywood. Hey, good job, Hollywood. Network was a great movie.
What's up,
Talking
time
about
to wake
the future
up?
of our media. How it'd be about entertaining us for profit to hook us. Fear sells, fear controls. You never watched the movie Network, watch that movie, and then think about the world you live in today and tell me that movie didn't tell you the truth.
Some heavy wind out here, right? What's up, Alhambra?
No, the Matrix turned the wind on because you're spitting that shit.
Yeah.
Spitting that shit.
It's that harp, Zach. It's harp.
Ain't no fucking wind going the whole fucking day. I've been outside the whole day, bro.
They're like, he's speaking truth. We gotta turn on the harp.
Hey, somebody brought up harp. If you guys don't know what harp is, not like an instrument, harp. H-A-A-R-P. Military technology. Has the ability to influence weather. According to Jesse Ventura, who's a Navy SEAL.
The Matrix turned the
Lock out the sun.
But yo, check this out, you guys. Here's the question. Are all earthquakes natural, or is it as Jesse Ventura once said? He said some earthquakes are because of what he once did as a Navy SEAL. He said he was given missions to plant big bombs in the ocean along fault lines. He said this is something the U.S. military does. Now remember back in 1989, you had the all Bay Area earthquake. Oakland versus San Francisco. And just before the game began, massive deadly earthquake in San Francisco. Now here's what's wild. If you go back and look at that, the last thing shown on TV was an instant replay at number 33. Jose Canseco crossing home plate in the Oakland win the night before over San Francisco. Funny enough, that earthquake came exactly 107 days after Jose Canseco's birthday. Now why does that matter? Again, gematria. Take the alphabetic order. M's the 13th letter, I's the 9th, L's the 12th. If you spell out military, it adds up to 107. Funny enough, if you spell out earthquake, it equals 107. Here's a more recent earthquake. China Lake, July 4th, Southern California. Massive quake on the nation's birthday, 7-4. Earlier I was talking about Event 201. The coronavirus pandemic simulation where only 2 CDCs have participated, that of China's and that of the US. Well, go figure that from the China Lake earthquake to the day that supposedly the Chinese coronavirus, Wuhan, arrived in the US was exactly 201 days later. And remember, Kobe died just days after that was confirmed.
What's up,
and they
Utah?
buried him in Corona Del Mar.
Utah cop.
Funny enough,
bro?
from Kobe's birthday, August 23rd, to the day the pandemic was declared, which
Oh,
was also
shit,
the
I didn't
same
even
day
see him.
they
What's up,
locked down
ex-bootlicker?
the NBA, just happened to be 201 days later. And again, 201 is the number of the Jesuit order who served the Catholic Church, going with Kobe dying at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age, 2 years after putting out the Kobe Bryant after death shoe on the day leaving 41 days left of the year. And again, in gematria, Kobe Bryant equals 41. When he
get the other
dropped
side.
81
Oh,
points
Son?
in his 666th
Oh, yeah,
game,
yeah, yeah. For
the
sure,
rest
yeah, I
of
wanna
the team
get the other
scored
side.
41. In his last game where he scored 60, the rest of the team scored 41. Who did Kobe make his last bucket over? Go look. Number 41 was guarding him. And also go watch the clip. You can look it up on YouTube on your phone right now. Watch Kobe's exit from the court, his last ever.
Wow, look at
They
that
stopped back
numerology,
clock
man.
sharp.
Look at the gematria on that. Holy Bible 201, the Jesuit Order 201, William Henry Gates 201.
Online, my 2017 book talks about Kobe Bryant, his career being defined by 41, and all of this going back to Rome and the church. How could I be wrong when he dies at age 41 in 2020 synced up with the Pope? If anybody's listening and thinks I am wrong, you can have the mic. I'll listen. I share.
We're not here, but like,
Anyone have a question? What is his question? What do you guys want me to cover that I've already said? I'm planned for this. Is thinking anything?
yeah, he's been talking about coming out for a long time.
What should we ask him?
Can we do Prince? If you guys don't know this man right here, he's actually a real rock star. It's Jeff Young, famous musician right here, Megadeth.
All right.
Jeff Young found me in 2015 speaking out on YouTube, and he said, hey man, you gotta come on and talk about this whole murder by numbers thing. About a month after I met Jeff, it was the day of the 58th Grammys, and Vanity died that day. Jeff happens to be a big Prince fan, a big Vanity fan. He said, hey Zach, man, tell me what's up with Vanity dying the day of the 58th Grammys. By the way, Jeff has a radio show. It's called Music Without Boundaries. If you want to check it out, Jeff Young, right here, Music Without Boundaries. Great show. So I started looking into Vanity's death, and I noticed a numerical pattern. It's a lot to explain right now, but on his show, I said, you know what? I'm worried about Prince. I think it might be Prince next. Again, you guys, Prince had the hit song from '83, "I Would Die For You." And it was like he was from the future. He spelled it with the number 4 and the letter U, like how we text message. For this young guy, there weren't any cell phones back in '83. I didn't know anyone writing like that.
I agree, Cops.
But
I
again,
agree.
guys, U is the 21st letter of the alphabetic order. Prince said, I would die 421, only to die on 421. Prince had a song called 319. He died 319 days after his birthday. The day Prince died, they lit up Niagara Falls purple. Who was from Niagara Falls? Vanity. His girlfriend from the time of Purple Rain. Beauty pageant winner in Niagara Falls. That's a major league coincidence. What seals the deal is the day that Vanity died, it was the day of the 58th Grammys. Gematria, the simple practice of coding numbers into words. Purple Rain equals 58. And since we're across from the Masonic Temple, again, the year that Prince died was the year of the 58th U.S. presidential election, and Trump announced he was running from his 58-story Trump Tower. But again, in Gematria, Freemasonry equals 58, so does Secret Society, so does Solomon's Temple, where all Freemasonry secrets are, so does Tracing Board, which is what you do for your first 3 degrees in Masonry, and who knows what the first degree of Masonry is called? Anyone know? The Entered Apprentice. When I say Donald Trump an apprentice, does it ring a bell?
Yes.
You guys, they made him look like an authority. That was the conditioning before they put him in office. And then he paralleled Ronald Reagan and ran on Make America Great Again, except for Reagan said tear down that wall and Trump said build that wall. And what day was Trump announced as the 45th president-elect? Was it not in the early hours of November 9th?
I agree
The
with
anniversary
the
of the
numbers.
fall of the wall?
Yeah, no
Get Mark
disrespect, but I
Gematria,
also agree
Berlin
it
Wall
can be
equals
confusing.
45. His poor wife just fell down the stairs
many
and
numbers can
died
be confusing
45
for
years
anyone.
after their marriage anniversary. I'm sure that was an accident.
But I understand the message.
I got bad news, you guys.
That's
She
important.
died exactly 60 weeks after the first Jesuit Ignatian year ever, declared May 20th, the anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola being shot with a cannonball. If you go back and look at the headlines before she died that day, conservatives came out against Trump. They had 60 cases for why not to support him in the next election, which is the 60th election. Well, in gematria, Donald Trump equals 60. So does Alvin Bragg. So does the word indictment. Did you guys notice that the New York Post put out an article just days before Trump appeared in court for the indictment? The story was about how Donald Trump was going to be in the same courthouse where they just filmed the latest Joker scenes. Now here's how dark and demonic this is. Trump was number 45, but Grover Cleveland was the only split-term president. If Trump comes back and they make him number 60, he'll be the second split-term president. And his 2016 convention was in Cleveland right after LeBron won the finals on the real King James's birthday. By the way, King James dropped dead at age 58 and was a Freemason. Died unexpectedly. Wonder what happened to old King James who got the Bible named after him. Getting you want your name to go down in the history book, you might have to go out like one of the first presidents. Again, they all died on July 4th, 3 of the first 5.
I agree, cops. I agree.
Jeff, help me out. I lost my train of thought.
I got a question that's off topic, but
I'm going to answer it. Hold on. But again, you guys, this election that's upcoming, Donald Trump, he was number 45, but because of the split term, he was the 44th person to be president.
Yeah, it's time to wake up. I thought you knew. This is Zachary K. Hubbard from Gematria Effect News. He has plenty of channels, Gematria Effect Sports, but I think his main channel is Gematria Effect News. It's right there on his t-shirt.
When the last Joker movie came out, Joaquin Phoenix was 44 years old when it released. Do you remember who died while playing Joker? Who remembers who died while playing Joker? Heath Ledger, this man's on it. Guess how old Heath Ledger would have been on 4/4, his birthday, the day Trump was in office? How old do you think Heath Ledger would have been on 4/4? He would have been 44 years old. 44 on 4/4. Well, the 44th person to be president is in court. The reason they said he got 34 charges is because it was during Passover. If you guys missed it, Trump compared himself to Christ. In Gematria, Jesus equals 34, like cross, like Passover. Then what day did he go back to court? The last day of Passover, April 13th. Again, you guys, a lot of people don't get it. I had a woman earlier at the pier. She came screaming at me that she was a Christian and I should support Trump. Some people are so blind. She doesn't even get it. The highest degree of the Satanic Church is mega. Did you guys know that? Look it up. If you doubt that, look it up. MAGA. It's the highest degree of the Satanic Church. By the way, the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, the founder, he died 201 days after his birthday. 201 days before the Pope's birthday. I haven't even told you guys the half on 201 in the Jesuits. But yeah, they established the Church of Satan too. You can bet your bottom dollar.
I agree.
You guys know Mark Passio online, big YouTuber, former satanic priest who always brags about his Jesuit education. Again, you guys, these guys know how to control humanity, how to divide humanity.
Hollywood. So of course they're
Caitlyn Jenner, 201. What kind of divisions that's created for a lot of families? Now you can't even talk about these things.
I agree, cops. I agree, cops. People have to peel that veil. You know, there's a lot of veils that have been placed on us, so we can't see the truth.
Shouldn't even talk about because some of you guys have your cameras out. There's just things you can't talk about anymore in America. The First Amendment's out the window now that the Jesuits control big tech, the modern day town hall. And again, you should just go back and read all the authors over the centuries who warned us about the Jesuits. They said they're all about control.
Takes work, takes time, takes effort.
They'll murder to get their way. You look at what's going on in this world. It's unmistakable.
Exactly. You have to crush your ego.
Somebody had a question. Sorry, man. Come talk to me. Okay. This man, I'm glad this man just came up and asked me this question. It's actually more important than anything I've talked about tonight. It's just about us. He said, why does it seem like we're being poisoned? Why is our food so toxic?
I'm laughing at what Gravit
If you
said.
guys don't know this, the U.S. government What it spends the most on for our agriculture with our tax dollars is subsidizing sugar. The next is corn, and that's tomato. Worse than sugar. Those are the two biggest expenditures by our government. They subsidize junk food. Now, we all know this. In every grocery store at this day and age, there's a pharmacy. You don't think these people realize that when they poison us with sugar, that we're gonna have health problems that are gonna net really expensive bills for you younger people? I was born in '83. I was about 9 years old when I noticed something changed in my community. I grew up in Portland, Oregon. I used to ride my bike around everywhere. You know, my parents didn't scare me with fear. They knew I'd come home on time anyway. There used to be one pharmacy in all the blocks I'd ride my bike around. There was one. And then all of a sudden, one summer, I noticed. All of a sudden, they're building all these pharmacies so close. And I couldn't understand why all of a sudden we needed 5 pharmacies within a couple miles of my house. Now look at what this industry's done, you guys. It's taken over the world. Again, I'll remind you, in 1968.
It's funny that he says that because if you think about it nowadays, you got a pharmacy on every corner. You got the Rite Aid, you got the Walgreens, you got like a CVS, and that's like your neighborhood drug dealer, you know? The pharmacy is like your neighborhood drug dealer, so you got them on every corner now.
After 9/11, again, we went into Afghanistan and killed the Taliban because supposedly they were terrorists, but really their crime was destroying the world's poppy production. Big Pharma needed those opioids because opioids are addictive and they're big money. Again, you go out and walk this city and talk to the homeless, you'll find out how many of them are addicted to Percocet 30s. Their lives have been destroyed by Percocet 30. How come Jimmy Kimmel's not out there ranting about why Big Pharma's flooding our streets with Percocet 30?
Because
Obviously,
he's a
they
pedo.
know there's way more in production than there needs to be since the streets are flooded coast to coast with them. Just wait till tonight when my video gets taken down for medical misinformation for saying that even though it's a fact. By the way, you should know I was just on the Google campus. I
I'm used
greeted
to
all
that.
the nice foreigners who I really don't have a problem with, but I said, listen, you guys make a great salary and live in a beautiful place, but you continue to ruin this country by tearing down free speech and what makes America America. You might want to bounce from this country at the rate it's going. I don't blame these people. They're just coming over here looking for their way of life, doing their job. They come from totalitarian governments. They don't even really know what America's about. They're just good at math. They got degrees in computer science. But again, go to these big tech campuses. It's not Americans. We don't have a good enough education to have the best jobs in this country, and that's because of what they did to us on purpose. They made sure all we knew was who discovered this nation. Christopher Columbus, right? You guys got that down, right? I don't know if it's the same for you, but I had to learn that every year in kindergarten through every year of high school. Every year I thought, God, what a joke this is. Can I go home already? Not this dumb. A man came here across the sea and discovered it when people already live here.
He's talking about those 13 years of indoctrination camp.
One that they don't talk about in the history books. Look at what day supposedly
Take your kids out of the school,
was
everyone.
discovered
Take them
in our
out.
history books. You'll find out it was September 11th. Let's talk about Manhattan and 9/11, huh? You guys know what ground zero means? What was the definition of ground zero before 9/11? The definition of ground zero before 9/11. Anyone know what it was? It only had one definition. She knows. The point above or below ground where an atomic hydrogen or nuclear bomb explodes. What was the name of the project to develop those weapons? What was it called again? Oh, it was called the Manhattan Project, right? The Manhattan Project. Now, Bill Clinton, if you guys don't know this about Bill Clinton, his biological father was murdered and found in a ditch. You guys didn't know that. His mom remarried into the very powerful Clinton dynasty. The first governor of New York was George Clinton. Not to be confused with the man who gave us all the great songs that hip-hop sampled. Who never got his due or got paid by Snoop Dogg, who's now... Never mind.
Atomic Dog.
Snoop Dogg's a sellout, man. Come out here, Snoop. Tell me I'm wrong.
Big time sellout.
You guys see how he did the Corona commercial during coronavirus to Friends? right after the rapper from Houdini who performed French dropped dead at age 56. Who missed that one? Next thing you know, Snoop Dogg's got the Corona commercial. After the French rapper dies, get coronavirus equals 56. These rituals are sick. Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart, please. But anyway, 9/11 Manhattan Project. Here's what's up with Clinton. Again, he's connected to New York because he was adopted into this family. What happened right after Bill Clinton became president? Who remembers what happened at the World Trade Center? 93 World Trade Center bombing. You guys remember what they said? They said the terrorists were morons. They said they planted the charges the wrong way and they blew holes into the ground. They said had they gone upwards, they would have leveled the towers. Go back and look it up, it's all facts. So they spent the next 6 months working under the towers. Now you know what Bill Clinton did at the same time as the 93 World Trade Center bombing? He ended the nearly 50-year military program of detonating hydrogen, atomic, and nuclear bombs underground. Now something turned the World Trade Centers to dust that day as they fell to the ground. That would take a lot of energy. Did you guys know that on 9/11, 3 buildings fell? A lot of people only know about buildings 1 and 2, but there was actually a 3rd building that fell 8 hours later. The BBC blew it 30 minutes before it happened. They announced that the tower had collapsed. You guys don't know about that. Look into Building 7.
Straight demolition style.
About 7-8 hours after the first 2 towers. And funny enough, it helped out Bush because you might recall when Bush became president, there were immediately investigations into Enron and WorldCom, his 2 biggest sponsors. And they said, wow, what a coincidence. Almost all the documents for the case against those companies were in Building 7 at the World Trade Center. For another coincidence, just down the street, his father was a member of the Carlyle Group, as were the Bin Ladens, the building oil company out of Saudi Arabia. They just happened to be in a meeting together, the Bin Laden family and the Bushes at the Carlyle Group. As the towers come down blocks away, as they blame it on Osama, the man in the cave. You guys, what they did, it's obvious. They tested, that's what the Manhattan Project was about, you guys. Again, 1968, World Trade Center construction began, 911, the National Emergency Dialing Code. They had the plan to create that day to scare the shit out of us so we'd give up our way of life, our rights and liberties. You know, before we were protected from search and seizure. Now the government just has, I mean, you guys on NPR, they literally tell you right now, it might be a good idea to cover the camera on your phone. It might be a good idea to cover the mic on your phone because the NSA could be listening. They literally put that on NPR now. They just let us know occasionally that we're living in a state where people could be listening to us and watching us at all times. That's where we now live. And again, a lot of people thought Obama was a good guy, but here's when I figured out Obama wasn't a good guy.
What's up, Rick James?
In 2008, he was saying the right thing. He was saying right now is the most important vote of your lifetime. There is a bill to protect all of these telecommunication companies from violating your rights and liberties. They have been collecting your data, your information, your phone calls, your text messages, your emails. It's going beyond the scope of the Patriot Act. They are collecting your data and information. They are spying on you. He said this cannot stand. I'm a constitutional lawyer. This is wrong. Obama said that for 3 straight months. And then came the day of the vote. And how did he vote? He voted for immunity for these companies after 3 months saying it couldn't happen.
That's cool, man.
Hillary
I got a
Clinton,
backup
what did she
channel.
do?
Let
She
him do
just
that.
skipped the vote. And these are the people we're given to choose from. People who could.
Oh, you know what I'll do, cops? I'll just like turn it into private. Right after I finish streaming, I'm gonna turn this into private because I don't know if you know this, but they took down all my get rich, get free or die trying videos.
Fascism.
All of them except one.
Spying on us, making sure we're totally compliant with the rules, just like they told us when COVID started.
Sucks,
Google
man,
and
but
Apple be monitoring. Were we obeying curfew? Were we gathering in too big a crowd? They said thanks to the new 5G technology rollout, they had now could track those kind of things better. Convenient how the new technology came out, gave them that capability right as the pandemics.
No, I don't think they'll do that because
And you guys, that's because these are agendas and stories to create.
I set one of my protests into private, and that one did not get taken down. All my other protests got taken down.
If you don't know what Agenda 21 is, if you don't know what Agenda
And even if they do, it doesn't
2030
matter.
is,
I'll make a
you need to know
backup.
what these things are. Agenda
I already have a
21
backup
was
channel,
agreed
so
to in
it's all good.
92. Agenda 2030 was the renewal of it with a new goal by 2030. All these things they want to achieve. They want to have zero net carbon emissions by 2030. And a big part of the way they want to do it is by having us live.
What are you talking about? YouTube? They're super strict now. Super
That's why
strict.
Mark Zuckerberg's ruling out
They took down 2 of my protest videos like in 2
full
hours.
scale in 2030.
2 videos in 2 hours, or less than 3
And you
hours.
guys, they got a plan for us. They want to break down humanity. They want to take away our way of life. They literally want us living
thanks,
isolated
ex-bootlegger.
behind screens, getting our monthly government
It's kind of hard with the cop
stipend.
watch community because, the cop watch community, I love you guys, but most of them they're sheep.
Where we have little control over our own lives.
Most,
Where we
not all.
gotta wait for our monthly stipend. You guys, literally, our government's debating things right now. You need to look into the things they're talking about. They're talking about creating a new type of currency where what we get is something like $500 a week, and we have to spend it all in that week. It doesn't save up. So whatever you don't spend, you don't have anymore. They're doing this right now because we're getting phased out. They got all this AI to replace the jobs. They got self-driving trucks, cars. They got AI that does what lawyers used to do. There's less of a need for us. So they're phasing us out. And for those of us who are around, they got plans for us
least
to
1,000.
live.
At least
They get, you don't
At least
know what
1,000.
Schwab, the Jesuit, said at the World Economic Forum. He said by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. You'll own nothing and be happy.
Oh, very
I'll tell you what else is sick, you guys. They said by 2030 they have plans to totally eradicate poverty. It sounds nice, but you have to remember these are evil psychopaths. Think about when we go to this.
I like that. Grab it hard.
What's going to happen to the
Who's
homeless
awake?
people
Who's
out
awake? Hit
here?
that one if you're awake. Hit
I
that
like
one
to
if
give
you're
homeless
awake.
people $1 or a $5 bill if I got it.
Hit that
How
two
am I
if you're
gonna do that
not
if
sure that you're
Jesuits
awake, but you're
no
trying to
longer
be
recognize
fully
no
awake.
digital currency?
But hit
How do
that
I
one.
give a homeless man who doesn't have a phone digital currency? People are going to get phased out for sure. They got
Karen
sick
is
ways
asleep.
to phase out the impoverished.
Karen needs to get in
There's
here.
going to be a lot less people around here because we didn't wise up. For all of my darker complected friends, I want you to know something. The Tuskegee experiment, I want you to go back and look. They said 201 people were in the control group. 201. Again, event 201 was the coronavirus pandemic simulation 1 month before the outbreak. If you got here late, that's the number of the Jesuit order. A very mean military order of the Roman Catholic Church that is racist. Now tell me something, am I tripping? Or did they say over and over before the jab came out that if you were a darker complected person, you were most at risk and you needed to get the jab the most?
Bill Gates said that.
Yeah,
Bill
Bill
Gates
Gates did, and so did a lot of other people.
said that.
And think about Bill Gates always over in Africa with all of his little experiments. You think he really wants to help out those African people? Please.
That's
This
the
guy's
people in
talking
India.
about why we need to reduce population and get rid of the impoverished. He means get rid of them. For all the tyrants at Google who want to take down this kind of content, you guys, you know, you might be in the next round of layoffs, you might be in the next one with myocarditis, you better think twice about who you're censoring.
Smash that like button, everybody. Smash the like.
Who else wants something to speak? Somebody else has to have a message here.
Rob, I want to say something.
Hi everyone,
Hey.
I'm Lucy. Happy to see you guys here. So you may be wondering, what is it about letters and numbers? Why do we keep talking about numbers? Why is Zach talking about 44? Why is Zach talking about 201? Why is Zach telling you about all these numbers? What is it about these numbers? Think about it.
I'm just here to
So
support.
Roman numerals are both a letter and a number. I is 1. V is 5. C is 100. So Roman numerals are both a letter and a number. It's the same thing with English. English is the language of the world. New World Order. One currency, one language. English is the language of the world. A equals 1 all the way through Z, 26. You can play around with the alphabet and create other ciphers. Our language is encrypted. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it really isn't. Language is the way we perceive the world. Language creates reality for us.
Yeah, you put that video
They
up there.
tell us that
It's
the
a Native
festival
American
has
and some
several
blacks.
different words to describe snow.
I believe that's what
We
Bill
only
Gates
have
and his
snow.
wife that looks like
The
Robin
Eskimo
Williams,
can
or his
describe
ex-wife.
Nuances
said that.
about snow that we are not able to capture because we don't have the language. Language is our gateway to consciousness. So by manipulating the language that we use and by encrypting it with numbers, these people are essentially creating a reality for all of us. This is the importance of what Zach is talking about, letters and numbers. That's all I gotta say.
All
I'm
right.
gonna back her up because I know what else she wanted to talk about. She gave me the idea. Thank you. Thank you for speaking up. And anyone else can have this mic too. I don't mean to be a hog. But again, I want to talk about another
Hey, thanks,
death
cops.
that happened in this month. I talked about it earlier, but it's so important because almost no American knows this. They haven't realized it. Again, Martin Luther King Jr.
Go ahead, guys. Click on that link and then come right back.
April 4th, 1968, 1 year to the day after speaking out against the U.S. military. But people didn't realize that he was not born Martin Luther. He was born Michael King Jr. He assumed the name Martin Luther after the Protestant Reformation leader who was once a Catholic priest before he turned his back on the church. And Martin Luther became a Catholic priest on April 4th. Martin Luther also wrote the 95 Theses, only for MLK to be assassinated on the 95th day of 1968. And again,
Hashtag,
4-4.
hashtag guillotine
Kind of like
Bill
how
Gates.
Bob Lee was stabbed to death this year on 4-4. Kind of like how the cyclist was also killed in San Francisco at age 44 on that day. Kind of like how the first U.S. president to ever die in office, William Henry Harrison, died 1 month into his term on 4-4. In Gematria, K is the 11th letter, I is the 9th, L is the 12th, L is the 12th, kill equals 44. It's part of the reason Tupac's last album came out on the 44th day of the year 213, only to die 213 days later after claiming LA, the 213 area code, as his city. Again, heroin's become this big thing in this nation. Who remembers Philip Seymour Hoffman, the actor? Philip Seymour Hoffman. They had to report that he had 44 bags of heroin on him and was found dead from an overdose on the 4th floor. I mean, seriously, guys, who carries around 44 bags of heroin? 44? You guys, it's symbolic. They report this stuff because they're speaking in code, and they know when they put in the headlines, most people are just going to read right by it and not even think twice. You guys, we got to think more. We got to question more. We got to ask a lot more questions.
Exactly.
I was a school teacher. I used to teach 5th grade. My last year teaching school was 2012. I got to admit, I gave up school to start a weed business that paid a lot better, and sometimes I feel bad about it, but funny enough, the last year I taught was the year Sandy Hook happened. I was working at a private school in Washington State, not Washington, D.C., Washington State on the West Coast. I was working at a private school in big tech land. A lot of Microsoft, Google, Amazon parents, stay-home parents. The day Sandy Hook happened, the entire school, nearly the entire school was empty before the day was over because parents were so afraid from what they saw in the news. I said to my coworker that day, I said, what's going on in the news, man? I've seen fear like this since 9/11. It happened in Connecticut. We're out in Washington State. How can people be tripping like that? So anyway, this is how I found out Gematria. I didn't know Gematria in 2012. I found it out because of this. The news media kept reporting that Adam Lanza weighed 112 pounds. Do a Google search right now. Every single news outlet reported that Adam Lanza weighed 112 pounds. I said, why does it matter that he weighs 112 pounds? What's this got to do with the story? Then they put out his birthday. I noticed his birthday was April 22nd. I said, wait a minute, that's the 112th day of the year. So the 112-pound kid was born on the 112th day of the year. If you guys don't know this, 112 is the alt emergency dialing code for 911. It's the most common emergency dialing code in the world, 112. By the way, the Jesuits, they claim to operate in 112 countries. Funny enough, Catholicism equals 112, like mathematics, like 1 + 1 is 2. So anyway, I didn't know gematria, but I found it. I found it in Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages, a man who's from this city who has a society here dedicated to his research. Manly P. Hall said the alphabetic order is a numerical sequence, so I tried it out. I spelled out Sandy Hook. I said, okay, S is the 19th letter, A is the 1st, N is the 14th. I added up Sandy Hook. Who wants to guess what Sandy Hook equaled? It equaled 112. Sandy Hook equaled 112. So we got a 112-pound shooter, born on the 112th day of the year, creating this emergency panic and people watching the TV, making them afraid for their children's lives coast to coast. That's what they do. And I'll tell you something funny. Did you guys notice something? The first American to get vaccinated, her name was Sandy Lindsay. And she got vaccinated, she got a shot. She got a shot, Sandy. Sandy got a shot. The first one on the anniversary of Sandy Hook. Then the next year, Steph Curry, he passed Ray Allen from UConn on the anniversary. Sandy Hook was in Connecticut. But anyway, here's the connection, you guys. Sandy Hook was established in 1956. The shooting was in 2012, 56 years later. Remember, 56, special number to the pandemic, special number to the Jesuits. If you didn't hear it before, I'll go over it again. In gematria, Society of Jesus equals 56. That's the Jesuit order, the military order of the Catholic Church. Important members of their network, like Gavin Newsom, equal 56, like Anthony Fauci, equal 56. Adam Peter Lanza, the name of the Sandy Hook shooter. Adam Peter Lanza, 56. Funny enough, they put out a story about a man named Patrick Dragon, a first responder to Sandy Hook, who was supposedly a hero. They said he died from COVID. Look up the image that they put out in the media.
Oh man, it's blowing wind out here.
He's standing next to a wall, and the number on the wall is number 56. Patrick Dragon died from coronavirus, the 56 virus, where Gavin Newsom said 56% of California will get coronavirus in 8 weeks, which is 56 days. Right after they declared the pandemic, literally 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began at Fordham in New York.
Exactly. I agree 100, 1000% with cops.
Again, just like Tom Hanks, born in 56, the first to celebrate the virus. The point is, they put these numbers, like a tiger puts their mark on a wall. They put these numbers on the things they do that leave the lasting impression in our mind that makes us go along with their agenda as we give up our rights and liberties out of fear. For those of you who don't know, Benjamin Franklin, the founder, he said those who give up liberty for safety deserve neither. And notice, you guys, we've been giving up a lot of rights in the 21st century. Who feels like America's been made safer in the time of the war on germs, on the war on terror? Is anyone's city safer in the 21st century than it was in the 90s? Who here lives in a community that's been made safer from all the trillions we spent on defense and surveillance? We all know we've gotten a lot less safe. We now realize that surveillance is pointed at us. The new digital currency coming out is going to make sure we pay every last penny for every last thing to Big Brother. The cameras are pointed at us. Everything's pointed at us. We got tricked. We believe lies. Believe. B-E-L-I-E. Be lie. The word has lie in the middle, you guys. Who taught us that word? I'll tell you what, we use that word way too much, believe. I'd get it out of your vocabulary. Demand some facts, some evidence. I wouldn't believe anything. Prove it to me. Who saw the footage of the Nashville hero cops? You notice how in the news they said they were both Jesuit educated? They ran through a school that was empty. Anyone notice that? Is that there was a mass killing there? Go watch the footage. They gave you surveillance footage, body cam footage, not a single person in the school. They're mocking us, you guys. A few years ago in Los Angeles, they said there was a shooting at a bar where a bunch of Route 91 Harvest Festival survivors were. CNN said you might want to turn your head. This is really graphic. Then they showed you a bar that was completely empty with a spinning disco ball with supposedly gun sound effects. And I thought, what was graphic? There wasn't a single person in the shot. There was a mass shooting there? They treat us like we're a joke, you guys. They treat us like we're a joke. Where's my man DK?
Right here. Again, anybody want the mic to share some knowledge, some things walking? I know you got ideas back there. Hey, you want to say something? She's got ideas. Oh.
This man's got ideas. Again, you guys, we just want to share the mic. We want people to speak who have something to say about what's going on in this nation, what we need to fix. It's my man DK Stonewood.
Hollywood. Let's talk about it. What does it mean, Hollywood? In the ancient times, the magicians, the sorcerers, the wizards, they all had the magic wands. And they were made out of Hollywood.
The holy wood.
Wood from a holly tree. And they would cast spells on people with
Oh! Need somebody to hold on to it.
Take down our freedom of speech.
No. Oh man, look at that on the speaker. So it's okay.
You know, we think we should have a speaker over here behind this little car thing.
still working. So like I was saying, well, this thing still wants to go. The magicians who cast the spells
From the Almighty, of
with the
course,
magic
that's what we seek
wands,
protection
just
from.
like they use Hollywood.
We're just creations. We're just slaves in this universe, in this world.
Thank you, Jeff. My contention is that the white screen, the movies, is telling us the truth. And the black screen, like your television, your computer, your phone, they're all black scrying mirrors, right? Like the old witches had the black scrying mirrors, bring forth illusions. So they're telling us the truth in the movies about what they want to do and their plans. And then they're giving you a bunch of bullshit on the television, mainstream news on a regular basis. Should we talk about some conspiracy theories? Anybody got their favorite conspiracy theory they want to talk about? How about the Titanic? Has anybody ever heard of the story of the Titanic?
Yeah.
The Titanic was part of the White Star shipping line. It's owned by the Rothschild family out of Stuttgart, Germany, originally, and now out of England, City of London. So there was a sister ship called the Olympic, the Titanic and the Olympic. And the Olympic had already had its maiden voyage and was sailing and had gotten into an accident with the British naval ship.
Conspiracy cipher? A conspiracy theory cipher? That's down.
While the Titanic was still being finished. So there were some people fighting the creation of the Federal Reserve, which now controls this country and all other countries, which prints the money. So there was some really rich men, including the richest man in the world, that were put on that ship to sail over here to America. And they were coming over here to stop the creation of the Federal Reserve. The man responsible for the passenger list for the Titanic was Frank Vanderlip out of Palos Verdes, California, right here. So anyway, before they even set sail, they swapped the names on the ship. If you know you're gonna sink a ship, why sink a good one when you already got one in there that's damaged? So they swapped the names.
What's up, Gorilla J?
Put the Titanic on the already damaged Olympic, took some lifeboats off, and let these guys that were gonna fight the creation of the Federal Reserve get on this ship. The richest man in the world, John Jacob Astor, Isidore Strauss from the Levi Strauss fortune, Macy's, and Benjamin Guggenheim. J.P. Morgan was also on that ship, but he got off because he knew he was one of the conspirators of the creation of the Federal Reserve. So they put a bomb on the ship
I had to read that, man.
before it ever went anywhere, and waited till it got way out in the middle of Timbuktu where nobody could help them.
I think I would rather eat a
And then
bird. I'll eat
detonated
a
it.
bird over a squirrel. If I had to choose, if it was down to those two.
And probably had agents on the ship to make sure these guys died. The captain they put for this most amazing ship had the worst record ever. Why wouldn't you put a guy who has a great record? Doesn't make any sense. There's a book written about this called The Creature from Jekyll Island. If you haven't read it, it's a must read. But that's how these people control all countries, just by printing the money, and then we got to work for it.
Nuts.
The currency, right?
Feed the squirrels nuts.
Like water. Money's like water. And then when you can't pay for shit, you're underwater. Somebody has to bail you out. What creates the currency? It's the riverbank. That's why it's money floating between the banks. You borrow from one, pay them back. They switch it around.
What does Cop say? Cop says, I think 6 months disconnected from the system, anyone would be able to survive. I mean,
Another conspiracy you guys want to talk about?
It was great. I mean, I recommend everybody disconnect from the system.
I can't even hear because of the damn thing. Your voice is going like this. Right as we're standing here talking about this Babylonian control system, it says Babylon right there above our heads. Only in theaters December.
They got to pay tribute to their gods.
Oh yeah, how about this one? Get it on camera. Let's talk about that. How many people like pattern recognition? Like 9/11, 19 hijackers, then 19 years later, COVID-19.
Nah.
How about this one? Flight 77 crashed 77 minutes after takeoff into the 77-foot tall Pentagon located on 77th Meridian. That's all coincidence, of course.
No big deal. No big deal, people. Carry on. Get your Hard Rock Cafe merch.
Hey, all the good people coming out tonight. Who misses Prince? R.I.P. Prince. You guys remember he died 7 years ago on this day, Prince? You want to know something strange about Prince's death?
I didn't notice that. He was copying the cadence.
The 58th Grammys that year, and his ex-girlfriend Vanity died. She died the day of the 58th Grammys. And then, just not that long after, Prince drops dead on April 21st. Now, here's the funny thing about Prince. He had a song called 319. He died 319 days after his birthday. And he had a song called I Would Die For You. And he spelled it in the 80s with the number 4 and the letter U. U is the 21st letter of the alphabetic order. I would die 421. And then he dies on 421 on the Queen's birthday.
420.
Hey, this man said 420, by the way. How many people in California know that from the day you guys legalized to the day you opened your pot shops was 420 days? Does that sound like a number ritual? Hey, tell me if this sounds like a number ritual. Actually, first, does this sound like a ritual? LeBron James, for all you young people who like LeBron, I want you to think about this. LeBron James passes Kobe Bryant in points scored in Kobe's hometown, Philly, with a black snake on the court. And then the Black Mamba Kobe dies the next day in a helicopter crash after Comedy Central does a skit about Kobe dying in a helicopter crash after he does a skit with Kanye West and Bruce Willis that ends with an exploding helicopter. For all you young people, you better wake up, because this world they're making for you, it's not nice. But Kobe died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age while traveling from Catholic Mass. Then LeBron won the NBA Finals exactly 41 weeks after his birthday on Father-Daughter Day. Does this sound evil? 41, it was a number that defined Kobe's career. He put out his Kobe Bryant after death shoe before his death on the day leaving 41 days left in the year. When he scored 81 points, the rest of his team scored 41. When Kobe scored 60 in his last game, the rest of his team scored 41. He scored his last bucket over number 41 and they took him off the court with 4.1 seconds left. What makes this more interesting is when you learn the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words.
She's a soldier.
Gematria is what it's called. There's a song called Gematria, the killing name. Oh, this one is serious. There's another song called Murder by Numbers by the Police. But in Gematria, Kobe Bryant equals 41. Funny enough, so does Golden State. And his father was drafted by the Golden State Warriors, Joe Jellybean Bryant, exactly 41 years before his retirement. I wrote a book in 2017 about Kobe and 41, and how it was clearly the Roman Jesuit order behind all of this, only for him to end up dying on the 41st day of the Pope's age. Come on. Kobe after death shoes on the day, leaving 41 days left in the year. Comedy Central skits joking about Kobe dying in a helicopter. Kanye West Jesus with the exploding helicopter. Come on, man. They're playing with us. They're playing with us. We're being made fun of. Here, let me break it down for you. You guys seen the new house party movie in LeBron James's house? Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's in that movie. Who here has seen the new house party movie? Anybody?
Nah, I seen the old one.
Nobody seen that movie?
Right here.
Only 2 people?
Movies nowadays suck, Zach.
I get it, man. Hollywood sucks. Hollywood, you suck. Well, not really. You guys, the people are cool, but the movies suck these days. Bring back the 90s.
It's just the remakes.
Anyway, I gotta tell you guys what they do in the new house party movie, even though the movie does suck. Kid Cudi's in the house, right? Kid Cudi's the Cleveland rapper. He's friends with LeBron's
I like Kid and
mostly.
Play. Class Act is it's a classic. I prefer Class Act over any house party movie. Me personally.
I can't tell you how many rappers have been killed on 38 date numerology, from Tupac to Biggie to a million more. But Kid Cudi was 38 years old when that movie came out. And funny enough, he gets murdered in the movie while he's 38 years old. Little inside joke. Look up the movie poster for Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock. The film came out 38 weeks after her birthday, while she was in her 38th year of life. They changed the E to the 3, the B to the 8, like Murder's 38.
Yeah, dude, Class Act is a fucking classic. I love
But
it.
anyway, in the movie, Kid Cudi, he comes and he says, hey, do you guys know the Illuminati's world? Because we have to go over to the Illuminati's house. Oh, hold on, let me rewind. What happens in the movie is some people come over to LeBron's house and they steal his Cleveland Cavaliers championship ring that he won on June 19th on the real King James's birthday while playing for the Cavaliers. And nobody got the joke because no one knows anything about history. But again, King James's son was King Charles, and those who fought for King Charles were Cavaliers. We liked it though. We won 40-1 on the 3-1.
Don't matter, cops. Nobody's watching that bullshit.
Remember, Curry came back from 3-1 on Durant in the Western Conference Finals, and then Durant joined the Warriors. And it's all one big scripted storybook. As Joe Buck and the rest of the announcers say, they couldn't have scripted it any better, and seemingly no one gets the joke day after day. How about LA again? You guys, congrats on your Super Bowl on 2-1-3 in the National Fixed League. You guys like how Matt Stafford won Super Bowl 56 and then his high school classmate won the Masters 56 days later? You guys like how John Rahm got his 11th tournament win in the Masters this year? 11, the master number, on the anniversary of Ballesteros, another Spaniard's birthday. You guys notice that he died in the year 11? Ballesteros, great Spaniard, and since he died, every year that the Masters has been on his birthday, a Spaniard's won. We made some nice money on that on John Rahm too. You guys don't know how fixed the game is. We've been proving it for a decade. That's why they have to keep deleting me. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would know who I was if Big Tech hadn't ruined what I've been doing 1,000 times for the last 10 years for exposing how rigged this nation is. The news, the sports, the politics. One of my favorites was when Donald Trump, they said he weighed 239 pounds. The guy born on the flag's birthday that was sewn at 239 Arch Street. Then on September 23rd, 23/9,
Welcome back, Absolute Liquor. Welcome back.
Of the flag. I told everybody that day, I said the Super Bowl's gonna be Philadelphia, where the flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street, versus the Patriots, another scripted Super Bowl for Tom Brady with the flag on the helmet. 239, you guys, the 52nd prime number. That's what Super Bowl 52 was, the home of the flag over Tom Brady and the Patriots in Minnesota, which happens to equal 52 in gematria. Like how Los Angeles equals 53 in gematria. Like how you guys got your asses kicked in Super Bowl 53 by the Patriots, which equals 53.
Hey, thanks,
like
Rick James.
Red Sox, which equals 53, who also beat your ass in the World Series. By the way, that year in July, we said why the Dodgers would beat the Red. Excuse me.
I don't think so, LG. What's up, LG? Good to see you here, bro.
Exactly 99 days before the Super Bowl to conclude the 99th NFL season, while Tom Brady was 41 years old. Here's another sick joke I should have told you guys about Kobe. Kobe died at 41. In gematria, Kobe Bryant equals 41, and so does Super Bowl. He died the Sunday before Super Bowl 54. Well, his middle name, Kobe Bean Bryant, equals 54. Kobe, dead the Sunday before Super Bowl 54. Go back and watch how Mahomes put the game away with the 41st pass, which was his 26th completion, to number 26 for the game-winning touchdown. Again, Kobe just died at age 41 on the 26th. The name Bryant alone equals 26, explaining why Bear Bryant, the football coach, died on the 26th, along with Bryant from the Temptations, who also died on the 26th of the month, with Kobe.
That's cool, bro. Keep chat hopping. I do the same thing. Time to Wake Up. He actually does have like a Patreon. It's not even that expensive.
Better to say. Hold on.
Yeah. he does help people out
Coincidences.
on betting on these big sports.
If you talk to people about what we are talking about tonight, a lot of them will tell you it's just a coincidence. I'm gonna take it back to 38 or 83, which is the reflection of the number 38 that Zach was just talking about. Murder, killing, RIP, all of those words associated with death have a gematria of 38. Again, remember, 83 is a reflection of 38. They have the same essence. The band, the British band The Police, released the song Murder by Numbers in the year 83 for a reason. It was not a coincidence. They released a song in the album called Synchronicity. If you don't know, a synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence.
But who the fuck is Paula and Slade?
More than just a coincidence. Again, these are just mockery things that they do because they know most people won't catch on. They're literally telling you, Murder by Numbers, as easy as ABC 123 in the year 83. In the album Synchronicity, when synchronicity means a meaningful coincidence.
And again, you guys, just this week, the K-pop, the Korean pop singer who died, he died on the anniversary of the film Murder by Numbers coming out April 19th, very special day to Ignatius Loyola the Jesuits, but he also died exactly 83 days after his birthday. I mean, just think about it. And the thing that's sad is you guys were talking about this stuff with so many entertainers all the time, day after day. Again, you guys, it is so demented how often these rituals go on and people don't see it. At the beginning of this week, a 31-year-old NFL football player drops dead who played for 2 NFL teams. He played for the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals.
I mean, yeah, I saw some of that debate.
On the 17th. For people who don't know, look it up. My videos are still
But like,
online.
who the fuck is Paula and
From the day
Slade?
LeBron signed with the Lakers on the
Does he
first
really
day
put
of
in the
July.
work? I don't think he puts in the same work like Zach.
I said, you just watch.
I don't see him out here pounding pavement.
Season, he will win the Lakers their 17th championship, a big number with the NBA. N's the 14th letter, B's the second, A's the first, add it up, 14 plus 2 plus 1, 17. Kings, first playoffs in 17 years, rituals, numbers, repetitive. Celtics and Lakers, tied at 17. You guys, is America just a nation of children? I mean, seriously, we spend more time watching children's games. We care more about, I mean, literally, most adults probably care more about cartoons than, Pokemon. I mean, we're like a nation of little kids. Look, way more people stopped to see the robot than I would have loved for my Christmas present as a 5-year-old than stopped to listen to talk about what's actually going on in this nation as we get destroyed.
You got lights though.
Right. Here it is, the Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe, you guys. His star's somewhere right here. Are you not entertained? Come on, man. Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. Are you not entertained? I guess it's true. Hollywood told us people can't handle the truth, and all they care about is entertainment. We're going to move the speaker over here to try and knock out the wind.
Bro, can I see that? I gotta show my audience that, bro. Check this out, everybody. People who are not familiar with gematria, check this out. Get a screenshot. I know a lot of my audience, they're not used to it, but they know I speak truth. But they have to learn something about gematria, and I think this will really help them out. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. It's always good to meet a fellow truth seeker.
You on Instagram?
Yeah, Mexican Righteous, but I'm more on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your YouTube channel?
Mexican Righteous, just all caps.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I called into the show last month, and I remember he said, "Hey, I'm going down to LA. Come and show support."
Right here?
Yeah, that's me right there. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, no problem.
So much better now.
The exoteric version. Oh, okay. So he talks about gematria too. They're all full of it. Yeah, you know, cops can't knock Brian. He does this thing. He sells that dry turkey powder. You know, people need that. You know, they need that dry turkey powder. So, props to Brian for putting that dried up Thanksgiving dinner in his little meal packages.
Good people of Hollywood, we're wondering
Meal
if these things
packages.
are a coincidence. Is it a coincidence that Kobe Bryant died one day after LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant
Knowledge
in
is
points
power.
scored
What up, KIP?
in Kobe's hometown of Philadelphia on a court with black snakes when Kobe was known as the Black Mamba? Is that a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that Kobe Bryant died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age after he put out a shoe years earlier called Kobe Bryant After Death on the day leaving 41 days left in the year? Is it a coincidence that LeBron James and the Lakers won the finals after Kobe's death exactly 41 weeks after LeBron's birthday on Father-Daughter Day? Remember, Kobe was 41 and Gianna was 13. I'm going to show you why those numbers matter to LA. Again, there's a very simple practice of coding numbers into words. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. This is a practice going back to Babylon. It's known as gematria and isopsophy. The letter L is the 12th letter. A is the first. What is 12 plus 1? 13. That's how old Gianna was. Now, there's another simple way to decode. You just run the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1, back to A is 26. If you do that, L becomes the 15th letter. So you have 15 plus 26. That adds up to 41. So LA equals 13 when you run the alphabetic order forwards. 41 in reverse. 41 is also the 13th prime number. What are the odds that that's what happens? Kobe, 41, Gianna 13, dead in LA. LA wins the finals 41 weeks after LeBron's birthday. Kobe's dead while traveling from Catholic Mass on the Pope's 41st day of his age. And he put out a shoe called Kobe After Death on the day leaving 41 days left in the year. Somebody tell me that sounds like a coincidence. Or, wait, does it sound like something else? Does it sound nefarious? Does it sound like a conspiracy? We gotta stop with that theory stuff. Conspiracies are real. Money is made out of death. Anytime a celebrity dies, the products they're connected to sell a lot more. When Whitney Houston was found dead in the bathtub, they published how much her record sales went up in the days after. When her daughter died, in a similar fashion, they wrote again about how it caused her record sales to go up. How many children has Bobby Brown lost?
I know that.
Again, you guys, the world of celebrity, it's a world of unexplained tragedy, common tragedy, constant deaths that just don't make sense. Here we are in a land that makes celebrity. How many people have gone on shows like Jimmy Kimmel, and then not that long after, you know, we're reading about their obituary way before we ever thought we would. Jimmy Kimmel, someday his number's gonna be up. Again, you guys, numbers. We don't pay attention enough. Numbers, they're important. If you're around my age, I'm almost 40 years old. I wasn't old enough to vote in 2000, but I remember the election very well. It's the reason I've never voted in my life, because I saw what a joke it was. George W. Bush, who could hardly speak, becomes the first Republican president since his father, King George II. I was only 17 years old, but I noticed his brother was the governor of Florida, and he was the 43rd governor. And I thought, what in the world? It came down to the state where his brother's the 43rd governor, and he becomes the 43rd president, and his dad was the 43rd vice president? That guy looked over real quick and then just walked on like, yeah, sort of interesting, but gotta go watch the new house party. Again, you guys, where did the Bushes go? They went to Yale. They're part of a big secret society. It's called Skull and Bones. Who remembers Paul Walker? Paul Walker was in the Skulls about Skull and Bones.
Never seen that movie. Yes.
Paul Walker, though, he got the red Porsche in the movie The Skulls. Remember how Paul Walker died? In a mysterious accident in a red Porsche. And what day did he die? He died November 30th. 5 years to the day of Papa Bush dying on the same day. Who wasn't Skull and Bones? November 30th, 11 plus 30, 41. He was number 41. Skull and Bones, 41. Big number in a big secret society. Yale has 41 secret societies on campus. That's what they claim at their own campus. I was just
They've
there.
been ruling, bro, for a long
Their zip
time. It's
code,
all
the last two
bloodline. It
numbers,
goes all the way back to the
41. Big
British
number
royalty,
there.
and then from
You
British
guys
it
have never
goes all
been
the
to
way
Yale,
to
you should check it
Egypt.
out. It's like a
So the
Gothic
pharaohs, that
castle.
same bloodline that the
It's got a
pharaohs
real
were ruling
creepy
back in those days,
vibe.
that were fucking with Moses.
Puts out a lot of our
That same
leaders.
pharaonic bloodline
Ron
moved up
DeSantis.
to,
He's the latest
and then
Yale
in the
product.
States. So the Bush, the Clintons, all the presidents are all related.
But again, you guys,
People don't know
numbers,
this.
numbers and
And
rituals.
Hillary Clinton are-
March Madness just happened. I'll bring it up again. Connecticut just won the 84th tournament. 84 days after the state's birthday, as their coach became 8-4 in the tournament. And again, in their first game, they stopped the game so UConn could take down the nets before shooting free throws to score the 84th points. Of course, in college basketball, you take down the nets when you win the championship. Think about what that means. This goes on year after year. That means it's even rigged at the collegiate level. How corrupt is that? College. Tell everybody to go to college. But then we don't realize these institutions are so corrupt. So corrupt. Rigging the sports game. Overcharging for the material. Putting people in debt. How many people went to college because they did what they were told to by society and now have a mountain of debt and have never gotten a good job despite having the education? Millions of Americans have this same story. They could tell us to go to trade school. We have a shortage of electricians, plumbers. You can do that in a couple years and get a job that pays better than most college degrees pay. The reason they don't tell you that in slave school is because that doesn't make any money for the bankers who give you the student debt, where they make all the profit off the interest. We're being told what to do by a society, or I shouldn't say by a society, but by a group of people who literally rule over us, who want to exploit us. Again, like my man asked earlier, why do they poison us? Why do they give us all this toxic food? Why does our government subsidize junk food but not health food? They want us sick because sick people are profitable. Sick people need to be on medicine. They need expensive medical procedures. How many Americans lose everything over medical bills? So many people have lost their house over medical bills. You know, over in Europe, some of those countries, they pay a little bit more in taxes than we do. I'm talking about like 5% more. Imagine our politicians came to us and said, hey, will you guys pay 5% more, but here's what you get. You get all of your health care covered forever, and you don't have to pay for any college. Because that's what they get in a lot of these European nations. They pay a tiny bit more in taxes, but they don't have any threat.
Yeah, I'm glad you
for
brought
being
that up,
destroyed by
cops. Oh,
health
did you hear me?
issues.
Did you hear
And
me?
they
I
don't
was
have a
explaining that to
student debt
one of the people here in the crowd.
that buries them in life. And we're told nonstop that we live in the greatest nation. I think we live in the nation that gets exploited the most. I think we're the biggest experiment there ever was.
Exactly,
Our
facts.
heads are just filled with lies and BS. Again, you guys, answer it. How can we have a government that subsidizes sugar and corn syrup over every other food item
Facts,
when
facts,
those
cops.
things are toxic?
Preach.
We have a
bro.
diabetes crisis. What causes diabetes? Too much sugar and corn syrup. So couldn't the government naturally say, maybe we're putting too much sugar out there. Maybe we should put some health foods out there and get a healthy populace.
Remember they wanted to give people
They don't want
McDonald's?
that
Diabetes is
because
not
our
made, bro.
government's owned by
We're getting
big
diabetes.
corporations,
People
big
in the
pharma,
1700s
things
were
like
getting diabetes.
Pfizer,
Diabetes is a man-made
that
disease
love
that's a
exploiting
byproduct of
us.
processed food, bro.
The grocery store, it's all full of junk food, processed food, easy convenience food that makes us sick.
They wanted to
Then
give people
you end
fast
up in the
food to
line at
take
the
the vaccine.
pharmacy,
Remember that?
Yeah.
popping pills to counter what you've done to your body by eating the junk food
See,
that's
the
the
New
only
York
thing you
mayor?
can
They did that
afford.
here in LA.
The New York mayor was eating a burger.
That's why it's amazing
Like,
that anyone
it was good.
fell
Just
for
take
the government
vaccine.
saying that they care about our health, that there's some
Yeah, bro.
killer germs out there and you need to put a mask over your face and go get a jab, an experimental jab rushed out by Pfizer or Moderna.
Fuck
First
that.
time ever in the history of jabs where the label on the inside is completely blank.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's
saw
a
that.
fact.
Saw that. Hey, the instruction, the ingredients was all blank, all of them, right? Yeah. They tried to get indicted for that shit, bro. They tried to get indicted for that shit. Real shit.
That lady just came out.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just,
I didn't know.
I want to say something. I want this to be captured.
Yeah.
It sucks, man.
I saw that shit though. I saw that shit.
Here, do some research
saw
on the
that
jab
shit.
when it was approved for children.
Yeah.
Pharmacists all across this
All the
nation.
COVID tests
No.
too, all the
You know what I'm saying? Pharmacists all across this nation know it's true. When they put out the jab for the children, when it got passed, everybody got these jabs from a military base in Michigan. Every pharmacy in the nation. It expired about 6 months earlier. But the CDC told them they could put a new expiration date on it. Think about that. They said that jab had just been developed for that pass. But they'd been sitting in a military base warehouse in Michigan, and the CDC ordered a new expiration date. That's not medical misinformation. That's a damn fact. Every pharmacist in this country knows it. You know why they don't speak out? Because they have so much student debt from going to school, and they don't want to give up that 6-figure salary, because that's what happens if you speak out.
Yeah. There's an incentive to every doctor in America that the more vaccines they get, that's like a rack per vaccine. That's public information right now. You could Google that shit. You could Google that shit, bro.
Google, because you said that, and I listened to the back and then
A doctor getting a ban, homie. A doctor getting a ban off every vaccine.
We're talking about how we're controlled, and we all know how we're controlled in this world. We are controlled by money. This is a money system. Why do you guys think they make money, have all this terminology that goes with
Yeah, I
water?
caught that, Rick James.
Currency
I caught
like
that.
current, liquid assets, your mortgage is underwater. Why do they make currency like water?
No, he's agreeing.
Shout out to Jordan Maxwell. He made this known to the populace. It's because these people who rule over us, we need water to survive. They wanted to make money just as essential to survive. Money to survive. I'm gonna tell you something about why they put the I on the dollar bill in 1935. If you guys didn't know that, look it up. The all-seeing eye went on the dollar bill in 35. Genesis 3:5, beginning of the Bible, is about the eyes of God knowing good and evil. Gematria, again, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, which is actually, our Bibles are It's amazing, you guys. You learn this knowledge, you go back and look at the Bible, you'll see how coded it is.
And it's funny that he brings up the Bible because even the Prophet Muhammad mentioned that there will be a one-eyed Antichrist in the end times. Look that up. Look that up.
We have 3 eyes. I is a 3-letter word. E.
Yeah, you got a crowd.
E is the 5th letter. Y is the 25th letter. E is the 5th letter. 5 plus 25 plus 5, 35. I 35. Genesis 3:5 about the eyes of God, knowing good and evil. How many people in this world know at their job they're doing wrong, but they do it anyway because they need that paycheck to support the family? I can't tell you how many people tell me that they know their job isn't right, but they're doing it because it pays the bills.
Yeah.
You want the mic?
You got it.
Why are you cheering? Do you do this? Does my man right here do a bad job to pay the bills that he knows is bad?
Keep talking.
No, it's California.
Okay, but again, you guys, we gotta change the way we live. I gotta do the
Exactly.
Tupac changes thing. We gotta change
Man,
the way we
if you
eat.
could find that link,
We gotta
Cops,
change the way
post
we
it up there, man. The
live.
people gotta,
We
you gotta
change
give
the
props
way, you know
to
we
the
said
Prophet
everything
Muhammad.
said
You
was
gotta
right.
give props to all the prophets, man. These guys were messengers. They were sent
But
here by
seriously,
God
guys, we have to recognize how we're being
for an
controlled.
example for
We have
humanity.
to recognize how we're
All
being
right,
manipulated.
and if you're not
We
down
live in
with
an
that,
abusive
then
system
you're down
that
with the other
controls us
folks.
with
You're down with the dark side. All right.
School, church controls our minds from a young age with fear. Teaches us to comply, conform. Think about it, you guys. We're individuals. We're unique. We have different skills and abilities, but they put us into a school system where we're all supposed to learn the same things. We're all supposed to be the same way. That's not the way we are. We're unique. We have talents. Like, for example, I have almost none. I can't sing. I can't play an instrument. Jeff, where's your guitar?
And he mentioned he was the only
But
prophet.
anyway, you guys, like right here, this guy. If he was playing the guitar, we'd have all these people around us. This is one of the world's best guitar players you guys don't know right here. It's undercover. Jeff
right.
from Megadeth.
Let's go.
But I mean, again, some of us have amazing abilities, and we don't even get to use them in school because school doesn't care about that. How many great artists are told by their parents, you can't go into art, that doesn't pay anything. But art heals. Art inspires people. Once upon a time, our ancestors, they didn't live under tyrants that controlled us with money and make us sit in 13 years of slave school pledging to the 13 stripes. No, we grew up, we had tribes, we had family, community. We learned skills from them. We got inspired by the people around us. Now look at us. Most of us don't even have families. We don't have community. We have the state. We have the classroom, the teacher. Problem is, the teacher doesn't care enough. I know this, I used to be a teacher. I used to get mad at my coworkers because they'd laugh about how bad the system was, how we'll never be able to help. We're only here for a paycheck. That wasn't my attitude. You guys, I was chased out of a school because I stayed before and after and I tutored kids from other classrooms. It upset other teachers. They felt like I was making them look bad. That wasn't what I was doing. I was just trying to help out students in need. This is the society we live in. I got slapped on the wrist and told by the principal not to come in early and to leave at the end of the day with the rest of the teachers. I was just trying to help.
There
That's
you go.
the nation we live in.
There you go. Thanks, Cops. I
Our
appreciate
school
that.
system's not here to educate, it's here to
Look that up,
indoctrinate.
people. Look that up.
Here to
1400
make
years
people
ago.
believe
That was
nonsense.
revealed.
Like
1400 years
Christopher
ago.
Columbus, a nonsensical story. Think about how much money we spend in this nation on education compared to nations like India and
That's the
China.
back of the
We spend
dollar bill.
30 times
That's what
per
LeBron
student what
flashes
they do,
before every game.
yet their
That's what
students
Jay-Z
are way
flashes
more
every
advanced
time.
mathematically and
Beyonce,
science.
Rihanna
We are
at the
wasting
Super Bowl.
tax
They all
dollars
flash
on
that
an
shit
ineffective
because they're
education
part of that
system.
game.
And now in our very own nation, the very best jobs aren't even available to us because we're getting outperformed by our neighbors
That's
across
their
the
master.
ocean.
That's their
And that's
master.
nothing wrong with them. It's just we need to think about what's being done here to us. They're making us dumb. Freedom. Freedom. Where did that word come from? Why does it end with dumb? Freedom? We've never been free, you guys. We are enslaved to a money system a system that goes back to Rome, a system that's been controlled by tyrants for all of our lifetime. Again, you guys, look at those Jesuits, like I said earlier. Why'd they take us off the gold standard on the Jesuit order's birthday? They love that day. Donald Trump, Jesuit, the other year's brother just dies on that day. Afghanistan's government collapses on that day. You just start to realize same things happen on the same day every year. You start to look, you realize all these dates are connected to the Jesuit order, the Roman Catholic Church's military order. In a nation that's a military empire, where the federal city's Roman, where the Jesuits have been in D.C. since the federal government was once in Philadelphia. We moved to the Jesuit city. They don't teach us about any of this. They don't teach us about secret societies, about George Washington and so many of the founders being in secret societies. We don't learn about any of it. None of it. Why are we being kept in the dark?
Load out your ass, follow sight.
Hold on. Hey, hold on. Somebody take the mic. I gotta talk to that guy.
We got an agent. We got an agent. Come on, agent. And what's the agent name?
Let's talk, Agent. 47.
From Matrix, Agent
Smith.
Agent Smith.
Triggered by big science.
And then he just walks away. That's what they all do, man. He just walks away.
Triggered by Bill Gates wants water.
He got to drop his line and then just take off. Science. His science is the television. That's the TV. That's the science that people believe in, the TV. Oh man, it's like, what time is it? 5 minutes till 11.
Again, you guys, these are just things everybody should know. Since they didn't teach them in school, we'll come out here and teach them in Hollywood. 33. Big number with the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which has its headquarters in Washington, D.C., the capital city. George Washington, it's named after him. He was a Mason. They don't teach us about any of this in our 13 years of slave school again. But again, the House of the Temple in D.C. 33 columns on the outside, each 33 feet tall. The Masons study the Torah. The Torah is Jewish, and this isn't anything against Jewish people, but Jewish mysticism is very involved in numbers. And again, this is where Kabbalah comes from. Kabbalah's Book of Formation says God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. And it's just like how Genesis, God speaks the world into existence over numbered days. So, 33 in the Masons. In Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, Masonry equals 33, so does secrecy, so does order, so does federal city, Masonic headquarters named after a Mason. How about police? Police equals 33. Fraternal Order of Police is Masonic. All across this nation, the Masonic Lodge is always very close to the police station throughout the whole country. I live in a small town in Washington State right now, where literally in the same building, the police department is with the Masonic Lodge. Same building. Again, you guys, you start to pay attention to the news, the police, man, they got a love affair with that number 33 when they report the news. Underground Railroad shooting on the anniversary of the start of the American Civil War in a New York subway, blamed on an older black man.
Silence Boy, what's up, Silence Boy?
33 shots, but coincidentally,
Silence
every
Boy here?
camera was out
Oh,
in
shit,
that
what up?
subway station. If you've ever been to New York, there's a lot of cameras in the
Oh, the
subway
Talmud.
station, so what are the odds they were all out?
The
As this guy
Talmud?
shot
Talmud?
33
Talmud?
shots
I don't know how to pronounce
on
it.
the anniversary of the start of the American Civil War. And again, Louisville, we just had it. District 33, a shooting at Building 333, the first of 3 shootings in Louisville in the national news in the same week, exactly 33 weeks after the mayor's birthday, who said it's time to do something about gun control. I didn't see any evidence of a shooting. I don't trust a thing I see on the news. All I see is the number bullshit. What just happened in Nashville? A mass shooting on the 86th Meridian West on the 86th day of the year with a 86 Justin Pearson from the 86th District, which goes on. Just another psyop. But anyway, they said that shooting was at Building 33. 3 adults and 3 children shot, and they reported that 33 teachers worked there. Again, you guys, same things over and over. That's about 1968, 33 years before 2001, how World Trade Center construction began. Again, the Masons are builders. 33 years before 9/11, the World Trade Center construction begins. 911's made the National Emergency Dialing Code. George W. Bush graduates from Yale and Skull and Bones, a secret society that's a Masonic order. The alumni of that are called Bonesmen, which equals 33. 33 years later, he becomes president, the first Republican since his father, like King George. Here's another good 33. England, where modern Freemasonry was created. In London, a city divided into 33 neighborhood areas. The headquarters in D.C. for Masonry, the House of the Temple. It's at address 1733. Modern Freemasonry was created in the year 1717. The word Mason equals 17. The word Masonry is 33. Thus the address 1733. The Masonic logo, the capital G. When doves cry, man. R.I.P. Prince. R.I.P. Prince. In case you're here in spirit, we miss you, Prince. Prince said, I would die for you with the number 4 in the letter U, the 21st letter, only to die on 4/21. Prince had the song 319, died 319 days after his birthday, right after his ex-girlfriend Vanity died the day of the Grammys. The day he dies, they light up Niagara Falls purple. That's Vanity's hometown where she was a beauty pageant winner. In R.I.P. Prince. Another one taken out by the code. For the inquiring lady. You think it's a coincidence that Kobe Bryant died the day after? I'm asking, I'm seriously you, I'm asking, I want to know if you think it's a coincidence. That Kobe Bryant was his death the day after
I agree.
LeBron passed him in points scored.
I agree.
In Kobe's hometown of Philly on a court with black snakes. Was that a coincidence? The guy told her to keep walking.
It's symbolic.
Nobody will answer. Here, I'll tell you guys another good one. I'll tell you what game was a lock on Jackie Robinson Day. You guys see it was the 76th Jackie Robinson Day? The 76th Jackie Robinson Day? Tell me what happened to the Cubs against the Dodgers. What did the Cubs record become against the Dodgers on the 76th Jackie Robinson Day? They fell to 7-6. And here's how scripted it was. Lock City. The odds were plus 330 going into the bottom of the ninth. No joke. Real-time betting situation. Plus 330 on the Dodgers comeback. In Gematria, David Peralta equals 76. Like Jackie Robinson Day, David Peralta knocked in the game-winning 2 RBI single for the Dodgers to win 2-1 on Jackie Robinson Day. Jackie, the small way, equals 21. The big way, his name equals 42, like his jersey number. But year after year, rituals like this in sports. Sports are scripted. Joe Buck's always saying you couldn't have scripted it any better. Again, you guys, Chadwick Boseman drops dead on Jackie Robinson Day in the only year it was ever celebrated on that day because of coronavirus. And it was moved to Jack Kirby's birthday, the author of Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman dies on Jackie Robinson Day and the Black Panther author's birthday? Really? They had to change his age of death. Again, it's facts. Go back and look. Several articles were written June before he died about how he was 42 years old and battling cancer. His birthday wasn't until November, so there's no way he turned 43. Chadwick Boseman was killed at age 42 on Jackie Robinson Day, at least so we're told. That year, the Dodgers broke the 32-year drought over the Rays. 32 sun rays on the Jesuit Order's logo, the same ones that control all these rigged sports. One of my favorites in baseball was when Chicago broke the 108-year drought, beating the Cleveland Indians. There's 108 double stitches on a baseball. In gematria, Major League equals 108. You might recall that movie with Charlie Sheen set in Cleveland. Cubs beat Cleveland. And again, it's 108 double stitches. That means there's 216 stitches, which is Cleveland's area code 216. Kind of like how the year LeBron won the finals with Cleveland on the real King James's birthday, June 19th. Game 6 was the last one in Cleveland with 216 combined points. Kind of like you guys winning your Super Bowl on 213, like the LA area code.
That's not my Super Bowl.
Again, if anybody's walking by and thinks this is interesting, feel free to ask a question. Maybe somebody in this group can tell me if you think it's a coincidence that Kobe died one day after LeBron passed Kobe in points scored in Philly, Kobe's hometown, where the court was painted with a black snake like Kobe was the Black Mamba. Or if it's a coincidence that Len Dawson, the Chiefs quarterback, died on Kobe Bryant Day this year, only for the Super Bowl to become Kobe Bryant's Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chiefs. I'll tell you another one. Only 3 black quarterbacks have ever won a Super Bowl. And there's a parallel with all of them, and I think they're trying to tell us something about history and how we've been lied to. Here's the 3 quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl. The Redskins quarterback. Remind me what his name is. I know he won with 42 points. Doug Williams, 4 touchdowns in the second quarter, 42 total points in the game. Jackie, number 42, again in gematria, slavery equals 42, like Tuskegee, like February, Black History Month, like the N-word, and a long list of other nasty things throughout history. The next black quarterback to win the Super Bowl played for the Seahawks. And like the Redskins, they get their symbolism from the local native tribe in Seattle. Seattle's named after Chief Seattle. Washington's the 42nd state. The third and only other black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, Mahomes, plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. When he won Super Bowl 54, by the way, Joe Montana equals 54. It was between his 2 teams. Chiefs and the Niners. He wore number 19 for the Chiefs. Won the 2019 season, did the Chiefs over his other team. Of course, Montana wore 16 with the Niners like he won Super Bowl 16 with them.
I had
Might have noticed Super Bowl 23,
I had to zoom
Niners
into
over
that.
Bengals. The last 2 years in the NFL, Niners and Bengals both played on the anniversary of that game and both won their games on that day.
I'll check that out later.
But anyway, the only black quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl all played for the native teams. Now, some historians say that we're being lied to. The whole Christopher Columbus story and beyond is a lie. It's not true that black Americans, it's not true that all of them came over in slave ships. Again, you have to remember, the most advanced people in the world were black once upon a time. They came from Africa. You don't think they figured out how to sail across the sea? You don't think they might have already have been here?
No, that's
You don't think they might have been mixed in with the native people, the people we call natives? Again, you guys, the National Fixed League's trying to tell us something. They only let black quarterbacks win when they play on the native teams. We took advantage of that with Super Bowl 57, where Andy Reid got his 269th career win, the 57th prime number in Super Bowl 57. Again, you guys, you learn numbers, you learn math, you learn things like what prime numbers are. You'll see how fixed these sports are. Just the other day, the last playing games on the 14th. 43 is the 14th prime. Every team that could pick up their 43rd win or loss did.
Doing it for the gram.
Scripted games by the numbers. Day in and day out, college and pro. You have a question, sir? Did you hear what I said about Kobe? This is playoff time, everybody should know this. Again, this gentleman just got here, he's listening, he's interested, I appreciate that, thank you. Truth seeker couple. Good couple right here.
Truth seeker couple, I like that.
But look up all this is all true. Kobe Bryant was traveling from Catholic Mass to his daughter's basketball game. He died at age 41. On the Pope's 41st day of his age. And a lot of people didn't notice this, but Kobe just, not long before his death, put out a new shoe called Kobe Bryant After Death. And he put it out on the day, leaving 41 days left in the year. LeBron would go on to win the finals that year on Father-Daughter Day. Literally. Exactly 41 weeks after his birthday. It's almost as bad as when he won with the Cavs on the real King James' birthday, when Cavaliers are named after King Charles, who was the son of King James. But anyhow, Kobe in his career, he had his career high in his 666th game. He scored 81 points. The rest of his team scored 41 points.
I saw a funny picture with
when
LeBron
Kobe played
James.
his last career game, he scored 60. The rest of his team scored 41 points.
Lucy? Is that
When
Lucy?
Kobe retired, it was 41 years after his dad was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. So again, you'll see some of us have these shirts that say gematria. Again, gematria is an ancient practice of coding numbers into words. It's elementary though. It's very simple. I can teach this to a first grader. As long as you can count and know the alphabetic order. Again, there's a reason they gave us the alphabetic order. In Hebrew, every letter is a number. Ancient Greek, every letter is a number. Latin, every letter is a number. Roman numerals, letters and numbers. Anyhow, in the system, Kobe Bryant equals 41. So does Golden State, who his dad was drafted by 41 years before his retirement. So in 2017, I actually put out a book. You can look it up. It's called Letters and Numbers by Zachary. But I wrote about Kobe and his career in 41. And before that chapter, I talked about how Kobe and the whole world of sports was scripted by the Roman Catholic Church. Kind of like why the first ever March Madness was the Catholic school Villanova over the Jesuit school Georgetown.
They came at 11:11.
No. Look at the time. Why would you come at 11:11 though? That's crazy. We're just talking about numbers all day, bro.
11:11, damn.
What the?
11 in the stream too. Oh shit, 11 in my stream. What's up, Lucy? I know someone in my live chat said hi to you. Lucy? All right, Lucy. There's Lucy, everybody. They're probably gonna wrap it up.
So check this out. One of the criticisms of that movie is that they used an N-word. And that word literally has a gematria value of 42. Do you remember in the O.J. Simpson trial, look this up? A woman testified against Mark Furman that she remembered him saying the N-word 42 times in a single conversation.
Damn.
I mean, seriously, who's there? Can you imagine? If somebody could use the word, would you be like toweling it down and know it's exactly 42?
Damn.
Orenthal. OJ's first name? Orenthal equals 42. Nate Thurman, board number 42 for the Warriors and the Cavs.
Hello, good evening. Excuse me. How you doing? People who get off the work and come to the store.
Oh yeah, she told us there was no problem. She came out. She said we were okay. We just talked to her.
There's more people
We'll
who
move.
come
We're gonna move right now.
Get out of here. We'll darken her doorstep no longer.
Yeah, we got all the truth seekers out here. We got a lot of supporters. We got the I don't know. Leave a name right there, cops. What would you name this clique right here?
Like, bro, we picked up the all the time.
Truthseekers. They're wrapping it up.
Did you just hear us today, or did you? We'll be back out at the games tomorrow talking about it more. There's so much more I can say, but I have to keep it like in things that can be presented in on the street.
Teddy Maki the Teddy Maki Chew gang.
Thanks for stopping and listening. So we're out here. I drove down from Washington State just because it's basketball time. People need to know.
Oh damn, my battery. Let me hook up my charger.
Elgin Baylor's got a statue out front of the stadium. How many people notice that Elgin Baylor dropped dead right before Baylor won the championship? We can talk all about that. Hello. What do you think of the group that came out? Talk with some people? Yeah, have a nice conversation. That's the best thing. It's just like people connecting and making up and finding out who's out here.
Exactly.
Welcome back, man.
Yeah, we met Sam. You know Sam Tripoli, I think he's interviewed you.
Sam Tripoli.
So he got into that same direction with the thing for a while, but that's helped me.
But Sam Tripoli helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
People have things to say about him. I won't say anything bad about him. He helped get out the word and helped a lot. I asked her normally to come out here and he started talking shit about me in his live stream.
He has a flock.
The work is legit. You're not denying the numbers
Thanks, man, bro. Thank you. Great questions. You're asking all the right questions.
Thank you for just spitting that, bro. Like I gotta make sure sometimes that I'm not tripping, I'm not crazy, bro. Like,
You're not. You're not.
Crazy, dude.
You're not, man. That's why we're all here. That's why we're all
Being the
here.
only one in my family, like thinking, like, bro, like everyone will fucking die. It's gonna be me, like. But then I'm like, I'm not the vaccine, bro. Like my whole family. Like, what can I do? Like,
Tell them to look into autophagy. So from the one doctor I listened to, he says the best way to fight, get your health back is fasting.
dude. One thing I'm gonna say though, big difference, like the way they act. My mama, I grew up with her like my whole life. Like, I know my family, bro.
Behavior's different.
Dude,
I'm not reporting that.
Zombies, no emotions, right? They lost their heart. It closes your heart. Skull and bones. So
It's not like that. It's not like that.
Take out the heart.
It's just more like angry. They're just more like tense. More like
And the crazy shit is that you won't meet anybody that regret not taking it, but you meet a lot of people that regret taking it. Yeah, a lot of people are forced to take it. Like I feel bad for like the guys that gotta support their wife and kids and like be homeless or gotta put a roof on his head, you know.
I know him from the gym like years ago and shit. It's funny seeing me here.
No, I don't notice that, cops.
And it's funny because like we make connections here and there for like the last years, and then like boom, 2020 hit, and then weren't we like talking about something like that? How we would be outside of
That windstorm was wild, though.
It was wild, super wild, man. And the weather is weird out here, Zach. Super weird. It was literally raining for the first 3 months.
No, the whole West Coast got way more rain than normal.
I got tired of it. I wanted rain, but I'm like, now I'm tired of it. I don't want it anymore. Yeah.
They said it solved your water crisis issue. So maybe
That's
they
what they
actually
say.
were trying to help. What time are we at? I feel like I should move my car. I don't want to get locked in that damn car.
Yeah, it is 11:20. I wanted to leave before 11.
have to be out by 12 sharp. That's why I can't get out because the thing melts down. But yeah, we can.
You still live, Lucy? Still live? What's up, everybody? This is Mexican Righteous. Come and check me out on my channel. Super small channel, but I just come and check me out. You know, this community is all about unity. We got to stick together, and we got to help and educate these people. So come and check me out. I'm showing love to Zach. Come and support me. And if you're in LA, show support to Zach. He's gonna be here tomorrow. Peace, love, unity. Exactly. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. I called in last month, Mexican Righteous.
Oh yeah, Mexican Righteous. Good to meet you, man.
Bro, yeah.
I'm gonna have to get a name like that. Awesome.
Hey, thanks, bro.
You follow Yeah Right, right?
Yeah, I follow Yeah Right. Yeah. Yeah, yo, I was talking to you last month, and you mentioned you're gonna come to LA, and I said, all right, I'm gonna have to come down here, man. Yeah. I couldn't make it could not make it yesterday, or even at Santa Monica, but so what's going on tomorrow? What's the schedule?
Well, everyone keeps telling me I gotta go to the USC book thing and see if I can make some noise there in the morning.
Right.
But I want to be at the stadium by no later than noon, and I plan to stay at the stadium until about 6 p.m. and then I gotta hit the road to get back home. So I gotta be back in Washington by 7 a.m. on Monday.
Stadium. So are you gonna go to Staples for the evening game? Staples Center or the Crypto.com, right?
Yeah, Staples. Yeah, that building. That's where we're gonna be tomorrow from 12 to 6. That's the plan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. I'm free before 5, so hopefully I can make it in.
Mexican Righteous is a good name, man. It's always nice to have a name or a face to go with the name.
Yeah, bro, I appreciate it, man. I mean, we got to stick together, the truth community, man. I mean, that's why I wore this shirt today. I wasn't trying to be corny, but I was like,
Unity.
that's what we need.
Right,
That's what we need.
I agree.
Yeah, because I know the truth community could be at war sometime, but at the end of the day, man, this is what we need. All of us.
Yeah, too many egos, man.
A lot of egos, and I remember that's what you explained to me on that phone call. It's the ego.
Yeah.
We got to crush that ego. Hey, thanks, Rick James.
It's like my news source.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love that shirt. Love that shirt.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Paul Bearer Press. Find them online.
Paul Bearer Press. Find them online, guys.
Paul Bearer Press. I met him at Days of the Dead convention. They have amazing t-shirts and their printing is the best.
Oh, that's awesome. I need to get that.
They got every order.
Unity, man. Just unity, bro. Here, I'll show you real quick. Oh, shit. What the fuck? You know, united, it's like they say, united we stand, divided we fall. So we have to be united, you know? And that's their deal. You know, their deal is divide and conquer. So we can't let them divide us. You know, we gotta talk to one another, man. We gotta build rapport. We have to find a common ground between each other, and you know, we gotta just get together, man. We gotta unite. Unity, baby. What do you think we should unite under, bro? You tell me, cops. There you go, love. I like that. Peace. Peace, love.
Oh, it was going on. Hey, Steve, what's up, man? Come back out. I gotta make sure I get my call before
Why do they call
I always
They got energy medicine and take it 20
Brandon, if you want to say the community.
All right, everybody. I think I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. It's getting late. Kicking it with the Teddies. Should I kick it with the Teddies? Should I kick it with the Teddies? All right, everybody. About 2 hours, 9 minutes. It's the Truth community out here in LA, the Gematria community or Truth community, whatever you want to call it. It's all love at the end of the day. You know, everybody might have their differences, but we all try to unite. And what are you laughing at? Yeah, they talk about that. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I really don't know. You should know. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I gotta go get something to eat. I don't like eating late, but I gotta find something. I gotta get back home. And it was a pleasure. It's always good to be around, surrounded by like-minded people. For people out there that aren't familiar with the subject of Gematria, you know, that's why we got the information on the internet. But if you want to go check out Zach, go to his channel, Gematria Effect News. I learned a lot from this channel. Actually, Cops put me on Gematria Effect News. That wasn't the name of the channel. Originally, it was Zachary K. Hubbard, and that happens to be the man right there, Zachary K. Hubbard. But it's all love. It's all love, everybody. I just want to say peace, and I'll catch everybody